And we are back. Sorry for that. And while you were gone, top5rocket actually managed to cap the point and hold on to it for quite a long time. They just all went down while Se7en recapped it. They're currently just waiting to cap it until they get all their spawns. And now we are ready to go in here. And actually, a lot more time off the clock right now for top5rocket. So they're going to come in here. Ubers are even, so they're just going to take a straight up fight, I think, and just try and see if they can get back this point.
And they are pressuring across, and Se7en's going to go in behind, try and do some work onto Ombrak. Not able to get behind until the last second. Does get cleaned up though, but Elikor callback. Ombrak, four players absolutely mulched by the Se7en roster. Opti getting cleaned up. Neo, the only survivor. And Se7en just absolutely crushed top 5 there. There was nothing they could have done. Oh my god, that damage beater.
Yeah, Se7en's turned so many heads, and then Captain just came in to just follow up on all the damage that his team was doing. And so far, I think top5rocket, they've been really bad at just holding the house and the high ground. And Captain and Se7en, they have really been taking advantage of it. There's going to be a suicide wave coming in here. Oh my god! Opti just gets completely taken out of the air. Wow.
Oh, Se7en is crushing Elikor as well. Se7en are just in complete control. I think they're looking to set up a forward hold right now, being absolutely relentless. They're managing to set it up quite nicely. We're going to have to see that pyro come out maybe from Demol, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And they're going to come out the right side and try and deny this, but it's going to be an Uber v Uber exchange. If Callback bombs in, tries to force Raymond, he gets the chase onto him. Raymond shoots around. He has to use. He is going to get cleaned up, but that was good work from Raymond. Opti,
oh no,
caught in.
He's so weak, he actually has to pop as well. Oh no. Everyone on his team is dead, so it was just really crucial that he didn't pop there. And unfortunately, he had to, otherwise he was going to die. So just not quite getting out in time. And now all of a sudden, it's 5 seconds on the clock. They need to just break this hold and get on point. And Se7en, they're going to just try and slow them down as much as possible. And they're doing a beautiful job. Crunched. Absolutely.
Somebody call the police.
That was pretty brutal. That was a meat grinder if I ever saw any. Like, holy hell. Just absolutely mulched them there. That was really unfortunate for Ombrak. He didn't quite get out early enough. So now they're down 2-0, and one more round and they will have lost the map.
Yeah, it's looking very much like Se7en's map right now as Callback does try and get in behind. Opti goes for a high bomb, and it just gets dealt with perfectly by Starkey and Palash. But right now, Callback on the chase on the Captain. Captain goes super low, nearly gets arrowed, but manages to get saved. And the Se7en roster is still all alive. A few hurt, but not that much. And we're going to see top5rocket back out Beta. And that's going to be another mid-fight, the second out of the 3 going to Se7en. And they're going to be starting that timer going down for themselves.
It was really unfortunate there. So many Se7en players were weak, but people were just shooting slightly different players and unable to finish them off. Captain went down to 3 HP, and now this Uber's going to come in. There's going to be an exchange. Soldier's going to get jumped behind right now, and I think this actually sent 2 scouts back to deal with him, but everyone else from Se7en go forward. So this is going to be a very weird fight coming out here. And
yeah. Oh, Ombrak's been suspended. Nearly goes down, but I think he survived on like 10 HP or something like that. But Elikor actually manages to get Cadus. Was that a roller or a pipe? I didn't quite see. But that's going to create a little advantage for them to retake the point. They're going to be able to push back.
Captain's behind. Raymond. He's coming in. Oh, he missed the skip jump. So not going to be able to get in there. Nah. He gets taken down.
Oh, that would have been big, but he weren't able to connect it, Beta. And you know what? Se7en's showing a little chink there. Not a lot, but a little bit of a chink. And it may be something that top5rocket can get hold of. They really just need to make sure that they're not letting Salentes or Cadus get behind and set up a play. Because that seems to be what's happening on this cookie cutter setup. Like, no sniper has actually come out this round of product. And we see Captain with the skip jump immediately gets behind. And again, with Salentes with him as well, they can create a little bit of carnage. Opti gets completely suspended. Both soldiers do get cleaned up though, Beta. And maybe, oh, Starkey just goes in and forces the wreck.
That's really huge. Elikor seems he's gonna be a hero as well. He gets Raymond down to half health, but Raymond, he holds on to it, hides behind his 2 scouts. And that's gonna be it. Well, 1 scout. Starkey's still behind line. He's somehow not dead. He forced the Uber and ran out. Alright, and now he's somehow made it onto mid, gets an arrow, and he's safe. Huge play coming up for Stark. And oh no! Captain gets suspended, but he was just right above Umbrak, and Umbrak gets taken down like milliseconds to go before Captain was going to die, but he got the rocket off, and now just Raymond with a full Uber advantage. I think we're going to see another suicide wave coming in.
Oh, everyone's flying in! No one connects! Oh!
Raymond gets down! He actually gets taken down!
That was an absolutely massive sack wave! They managed to connect it, Peter! Did you see the speed Elikor went?
Yeah, that wasn't even him that did most of the damage. Like, they were all watching him, but yeah, that's Soldier for sure. Finally got him, and oh my god, Captain gets an air shot there by Korvac as well. We have Starkey on sniper right now. This is what I was talking about. They hold the point. They don't have to. But oh my god, takes down Umbrak immediately. So he's played sniper for roughly 30 seconds before he made a huge play there. And now Raymond, I think he's just gonna back off here, get everyone a bunch of heals, and then they're gonna push back in. But this Soldier, Korvac's in, so aggressive. Oh my god, barely manages to not get it. Oh, and Cadus gets air shot actually by Opti. Gets eventually taken down by the Scout, but oh my god, Starkey's just popping off.
Yeah, Starkey's starting to show off his prowess and sniper, dealing some good little domes here and there, and it's caused top5rocket to kind of bunch up by their main. They have to be very careful. Like, Umbrak's 70 HP. He's in quite a killable situation. A little bit of a charge.
Oh no! Again.
No, he
Starkey.
gets it. Oh
Again.
my god! How did he get that?
He's just he's standing in China. Like it's just China, and
Just
that's
China.
yeah. It's not like
Donald.
it's not some sort of unique placement that he's going on. He's just like in the most obvious sight line, and then he's just hitting Umbrak really consistently. And you know, you kind of got to put it on Umbrak at least the second time there. But now they're going to go in through their own right side. Soda's going to try and jump in, but he actually gets taken down quite a bit early to do some props on the map. But Korvac has been taken down. Opti is still behind lines, but I don't think there's any chance of him actually making it all the way into Raymond.
Oh, Salentes bounces his face off Umbrak! Oh, there's just nothing top5rocket can do against just the relentless soldiers of Se7en. Right now, they've actually managed to get the force out of them, but they're just cleaning house, and that's going to be 3-0 beater.
Really brutal
Ouch.
game right here. We didn't see a whole lot of sniper, but god damn, I think that was like, I don't know if you got 5 kills on sniper, and I think 3 of them were on Umbrak, or something like that.
Yeah,
That's pretty monstrous.
it was unfair.
Yeah,
there was some good little moments from top5rocket there. It wasn't all bad. There was some amazing little attempts, some good little sack waves. Like Korvac, I mentioned it before. Korvac was putting in some work. He was trying his heart out. There's a lot of aggression out of him, which is always nice to see. But when you're going against Captain and Salentes, they were just getting behind all the time. There was very little that top5rocket could do against those soldiers. They just constantly were getting behind and making an absolute mess of things.
Very annoying for them to deal with. So let's look at these logs, and oh my god, look at Velas. He went 28-2. That's a good KD. That's a 14 KD.
I bet you like all of the 90% of those must be on soldier. Yeah, well, not 90, but 15 were on soldier. 6 were on Elikor was sacking in a lot, but I feel like Thalash was spending a lot of his time just protecting Raymond from the top5rocket players that
Raymond
were just
died
trying their
way
best.
more than Thalash, interestingly enough.
Oh yeah. He wasn't protecting him that well.
To be fair, he did drop twice, so you know, maybe maybe halfway Thalash's fault, halfway Raymond's fault. Also, let's not forget that actually Korvac and Opti and Elikor, like, they're really good. So when they jump you, it's super scary, and you know, if you just looking in one direction, one of the other ones will come in there. And every time we saw top5rocket capture mid, I don't feel it was like Se7en was making big mistakes or anything. I think it's just because top5rocket, like, they're a really good team. So we should not lose sight of that. It's just Se7en is on a completely different level right now, just playing better than every other team in the entire league. Yeah,
like, that was relentless, absolutely relentless. And obviously, Product is an example of a map where being aggressive is the only way you can play it, but sometimes they felt more aggressive than they ever have before. Like, they did some really good work of just completely, like we mentioned before, meat grinding top 5 rocket. And that could just be, you know, they're better at reading the situation. Or it could be that they've just kind of got a little bit more aggression out of them. Like, Se7en, again, is a new player on the roster. Like, he's played with them before, but he's not been main roster, so he could be adding his own little flair. We'll see definitely a lot more in the next map, which is Sunshine, which I'm super excited to see, because this has always been kind of a 7 map, I'd say. It's a map. It's a map that we see them, you know, genuinely do pretty well on.
It's a map that I've always thought of as a stocky map. He's just always seemed to like it, and both on Soldier and Scout, he's just been an absolute beast on it. And used to be like they would put Sebusai on Scout so Stark could go Soldier on it, because like a lot of soldiers hate this map, but Starky, he just likes it on every class. So that should be interesting. And I'm also very interested to see, because my theory kind of going into the season before I saw a single game was that maybe Se7en is going to be a little bit more passive than we've seen in the previous seasons, because Tiger is a very aggressive player, right? Like, he will go behind lines a lot, and he will take fights very aggressively, and he just take these DM fights. And, you know, Se7en is also, he's going to be a new roamer for the team. I don't remember him being like a super aggressive player. Like, he's a little bit of a waddle beast sometimes, I feel. But yeah,
I think,
so far that hasn't.
Yeah, I think one thing is, I'm kind of going off the Ascent season last season, and the way that you had Se7en and Drac play is especially during Copenhagen games when I spoke to Se7en, a lot of times when you think of teams, it's like deal with the scouts first, then deal with everyone else. But Ascent roster past season was deal with the soldiers first, then everyone else, because very much so, Drac and Se7en were playmakers, and I feel like Se7en is going to bring that mentality into Se7en, where they've always been, you know, somewhat reliant on their soldiers making the plays, but Se7en has always been one of those players that's very good at starting a lot of things. Like, remember I-58 when he was on full tilt with Mikey? Like, that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful, and it was all plays based around those soldiers then. And I feel like we may be seeing that out of Captain and Se7en now. I hope. One can hope.
Yeah, alright. So I gave my super bleak prediction that we're going to see another 5-0 here for Se7en. Are you more optimistic than I am?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, sure. I don't know what to say. I feel like
it is inevitable, kids. Life is going to end. We're all going to die one day. It's not even worth doing anything. Just accept your fate. Just bleak.
Well,
you can't fight it.
It's like. I mean, you're going against Se7en on Sunshine. And you're a roster that's come back together after a long time. You're not like how long have most of these players been playing together now on the side of Se7en? Like at the top of the league, forever. It feels like
somewhat.
It feels like it's been forever. It's been at least like 2 years at this point, and you know, little changes here and there, but
yeah,
it's a mountain.
It feels like Dignitas won a whole bunch, and then Se7en was formed, and then they've been dominating ever since. That's what it feels like at this point, because they've just been so ubiquitous at the top of the European TF2 for so long. It just and it really pays off, right? Like, we see that both in Europe and in America. Like, these consistent teams that just stick together for a very, very long time. Like, they're the ones that are successful, right? Like, both Se7en and Prototech are just prime examples of how that works out. So, yeah, definitely going to be very difficult right now for them to find any chinks in the armor. But let's just think about, like, what would top5rocket need to do to actually be able to take some rounds and perhaps even win this map in a giant upset, right? Like, what do they need to do? Who do they need to shut down? What kind of plays do they need to do? Like, I'm just thinking, okay, so step number 1, right? Take a round, like, really quickly. Win a mid, kill their medic, just roll all the way into last and capture it. Like, they're completely capable of doing that, and that kind of thing can happen. And then once you do that, you slow down the game, and then Se7en, they are notoriously bad at coming back, right? When they're right.
They're not used to it.
Yeah, basically, right. Like that's how they lost to Lego and a lot of other teams back in the day. Just like once they get behind it, they're not as good as actually instigating things. I think they've become a lot better at it, but maybe like that historically at least has been the way to defeat Se7en, and I think that should probably be a way to do it. Who do you think they would need to shut down on Se7en's team? Like who do you think realistically top5rocket could look to just focus down or focus on?
Well, I feel like top5rocket's kind of aces at the moment are Callback and Opti, and how they're going to kind of start off the mids. So really they've got to get rid of Thalash and Starkey as soon as possible and just play off how their soldiers are doing. They just can't get cleaned up during this mid fight that we're just about to see. So we're live for the second map. It's season 33. It's week 3. It's Se7en versus top5rocket on Sunshine, and we're going to see how the soldiers set things up as Celentes gets in behind. Opti's trying to deal with that, get rid of that, but Captain uses that opportunity to try and do something. So they've dealt with the soldiers. Now they need to go in. Callback with almost a sink onto Raven's 30 HP. So not a perfect mid, but top5 having a good start. Look at this aggression out of them, actually, Beta. This is what we need to see. They need to try and just make sure that Raymond and the rest of his squad have no chance of holding second. They're able to get that, and now they need to try and make a playoff callback. I feel like they've got to make a decision. Maybe send Neo back for a sniper. This isn't a bad map to do that, and see what they can do from there.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and see if they can catch out Captain. Captain will survive. There's a Pyro on play on Thalash, so I think the goal here is to try to defend the sentry gun the best as they can. Sentry gun almost goes down, but he gets saved by Thalash, and some nice reflex there. Can actually manage to do a bit of damage as well. But yeah, it looks like first order of business, take down the sentry gun. You can spam it from right side, but you can also go in on the left side. There's only a single soldier over there, so you can definitely take that, and then you can begin spamming the sentry gun as well. And that's the last pirate right there. I really love how they've set up a dispenser and everything. It's really nice, but like these rockets, they're still finding their way through, like just weaving their way in and actually damaging the medic and the sentry and everything else. So it's not completely hopeless, and there's definitely a bunch of actions that you can do right now because you know where the medic is, you know the entire setup, and like Se7en's right side is not very well protected.
Opti! Oh!
No!
Oh, Opti! Oh, Cadus with a god tier pipe.
Yeah, sent him skyward. Like this looks like a rocket launching site, right? Like a big missile launch, but yeah, that was a soldier getting launched into space right there. That was beautiful.
I don't think he made it into the atmosphere.
No, he didn't make it.
Disintegrated on impact. Oh, callback goes down as well.
Yeah, they're actually trying to snipe very aggressively with the lash. Just trying to open doors for him. Captain almost went down. He took 216 damage opening that door. That was just a little bit less than it takes to kill him. But once everyone else is up now for top5rocket, last is going to retreat back to last, and they're going to set up again. And maybe we're going to see another Opti launch. And perhaps he'll make it all the way into space or onto the enemy team's medic.
I gotta admit, I love that jump though. Yeah. That is a cool little jump. It's just a shame that Cadus was there working as an anti-air cannon and just completely denied that. I feel like the sentry would have got him anyway, but you know, a little bit of air shots always fuel the blood. But Elikor takes a lot of damage on the left-hand side. Callback's actually been trapped in. He's almost goes down. And right now, no off classes for top5rocket. Keeping it cookie cutter. Looking to maybe get some spam angles. They need to try and they use callback for a bit of extra speed. He's gonna get out.
No! Okay, not quite. Cadus once again ruining all of the fun. But actually, Captain's gonna be in here. He's on the medic. Oh, back does a nice surf. Oh my God, he almost gets airshot. Oh, no! He gets taken down.
Don't hold it.
That was Se7en, my bad, but God, got in so deep, uncontested. They need to be a lot better at top5rocket at shutting that down. So now,
Ombrak had a little bit too much faith in his team there. I feel like he should have just gone and popped it. At least they would have had heals to back out and not have too much of a deficit. Right now they're going to need to try and force this out. Raymond is in past shutter. They're going to be pushing up onto second. Elikor's trying to spam away, deal a lot of damage. He's getting a lot of pressure onto him. But callback comes in, manages to force Raymond. That's absolutely perfect. He's creating a little bit of ring around the rosies, and not a lot of pressure out of that Uber can come from Se7en. They're going to have to back out and defend their second again. Uber back in advantage for top 5 Rocket.
Beautiful hold right there. Flash going down, that means that he can't put pressure on the point. Starkey never switched off of Engineer, so Se7en, they weren't fully committed to this one. That means that they're going to be more set up here to actually hold last again, but it also did kind of stunt their push out here. So maybe committing a little bit more here is the answer. They're going to actually just take an Uber right now.
And they've taken in the Uber on the right-hand side. They've managed to clear out the sentry gun. They're going to be trying to deal with Flash on the Pudish. He's trying to clean up. He's managed to clean up a few, but Captain and Cadus go down. The Lash, top 5 Rocket may be able to actually do a good job.
They do it.
Even going down. That's you mentioned this before, but top 5 Rocket needed to get that round.
Yeah.
And 3
Step
points
one
off
complete,
Se7en.
Grumpy. Step one complete. This is now
Just
a
25 minutes of stalemate. Let's go.
Let's go. That's how you do this. Okay, first order of business, maybe win another mid. Right, last time around, we saw Se7en jump behind really quickly, and they actually dealt with that really beautifully. He was super weak. They only sent like a single scout to deal with him, and then they just managed to collapse on them. So let's see if they win this second one as well.
Yeah, Se7en is going into Cafe. He's taking a little bit of spam, but the soldiers are very much distracted. And it means that they can put so much pressure, Se7en can, onto the choke. They're chasing so hard. Oh my god. Umbrak is so low, Cadus!
Finally gets it.
Oh my god, the speed from Se7en, and they've lost so many players as a result. But they kept the most important one, which is Raymond with the Lash, and they won that mid. This could be, oh my, top 5 Rocket are not giving this up without a fight. They're going to try and maybe force Raymond. They're not able to connect it. Neo is now trapped in. He's going to get cleaned up. But you know what? They've defended second off that. Not that bad of a play.
Not bad at all. Like Opti managed to completely destroy Starkey on the flank, basically. And that meant that there was only 2 players alive for Lass and Raymond, of course, because those guys never die. Korvak's going to try and see if he can get out. He's pretty much dead and done for, but somehow manages to run out there with the escape plan, so just barely making it out alive. Umbrak is currently on 40%. Raymond is on full 100%, so Se7en, they want to get in here as fast as possible. They do have a scout capping out, and there we go. They're going to come in with this Uber.
They're already in on the right-hand side. Cadus is just barreling in onto Umbrak, setting down a absolute setup of sticks, but ends up piping him in the end. Demol trying to deal with the Pudis. Actually, looking like it may be a close one. Captain super low. Neo's going to go clean him up. Talash.
Demol will take, but no, they've run away from the point. No.
Oh my god.
Dear God. That was so close. Like, they both ran off in different directions. Demol went into spawn to switch off of heavy, and the scout began running in forward, and then the last man came in.
They just walked in. I can't believe no one was watching the point. They are so lucky as they are coming out right now. They cleaned up Cadus, Starkey going down as well. They're trying to cap it out. Captain on the high ground is going to clean up Opti. And right now, Se7en managing to put a spanner in the works. Deny double soldiers. Just Umbrak gets cleaned up by Thalash. A bit of a collapse. Once again from top 5 Rocket. Korvak, the only survivor against 5 players. He's just going to have to try and just slow them down, wait for those respawners. He is going to go down, but 2 respawners are up, Demol and Opti. Is Demol going to come out as sniper?
Yeah, I mean,
he gets Captain. Yeah,
That's
not
good.
too bad, but they've got the Uber force. Cadus comes across, steals so... Doesn't manage to connect that much onto Neo. Neo's staying alive quite nicely, but no one's really going for the point on either team.
Umbrak goes down.
Oh, but they managed to clean it up. Se7en manages to go for the
And
point.
Raymond gets out because he gets a kill on the soldier.
What?
Well, he's not quite out yet, but he's very close to having made it.
He's got Captain with him. Captain's denying Elikor. Elikor goes low to 50 HP, and by the skin of their teeth, top 5 Rocket defend last again.
And not only... Yeah, and the same thing goes for Se7en there. Raymond barely making out alive. Like, someone got on the point. I didn't see who for Se7en, and that made the guy taking down Raymond turn around, and then Raymond hit a nice arrow and managed to run out. So really close shaves there from a lot of teams. But yeah, so far it's just been Demul on heavy, basically just being absolutely tanking everything, just doing so much damage on these pushes, and Se7en just not being able to focus him down, but they're going to have another Uber advantage, and I think they're just going to go in on the right side again.
Yeah, they're gone in, and Cadus leading the charge, dealing a lot of damage. Opti surged the damage onto Rocket, and he looks to jump, trying to deal with Cadus, get him out of the fight, which they managed to do, but they've lost two. Trying to deal with it, they've lost Elikor as well. Time is being put on the point, they need to deny it. Neo trying to do work, but he's the only survivor left. Ombrak! No! 1-1. Good work from Se7en. Nice repush, Beta. And in the end, that's going to be one apiece, and Se7en looking to maybe take the lead on this map.
Yeah, like top5rocket, they already got around, so, you know, the hater in me was proven wrong, which I'm happy about. But
I'm happy. I'm glad that it's not, you know, currently 4-0.
He's pushing from Se7en. They're not clean either. I don't think they're very pretty. Like, they work, but they're not very pretty.
No, and coming into this third mid, once again, Selentes does go behind, but maybe top5rocket are going to use these opportunities. They go in, they get Cadus. They've lost a lot of players, though, but they managed to get Raymond. Ombrak was alive. Selentes coming in at the last second, cleaning them up. And now it's 2 scouts, v2 scouts. Health was on the side of top5rocket, but now it's with Se7en. Can Neo win a 2v1? He gets one, but the second scout of Starkey cleans him up. Again, not convincing.
Not at all.
Really not convincing.
Yeah, I really like what the top5rocket, like how they played this out. Like, Selentes jumped in behind lines, and they were just like, yep, ignoring that, and then just went in forward, and they took a 6v5 fight. And they kind of won out a little bit, but then when Selentes came in, he kind of made up for it, and they barely managed to win it out, right, with a scout v scout duel, where the Se7en scout was slightly more healthy in the end. But that was a very close mid. That could have gone either way, and I thought top5rocket played it really well, actually.
Yeah, top5rocket also now managing to hold on to their second, because it was such a close mid fight. And to be honest, Peter, I feel like if top5rocket can get that little bit of an edge, because there is definitely a chink in the Se7en armor right now. They don't feel as impervious as they did on the last map. They definitely feel like there's a little bit of rust in the old bones, they say, as they've not been as clean and collected as usual. They've been a lot more aggressive than we've seen previously.
Selentes and Captain right now. They're just trying to find an entrance. And they do manage to get Selentes in there, but really good job there by the scouts to just completely chew through him before he even manages to get close. So good job there. So top5rocket managed to deny it. Can they get in a counter sack though? It looks like they're not really in a position to do that. You see the best soldiers and the best teams, they're really good at getting these counter sacks in before the team is able to actually adjust to it, to their own failed bomb. But not the case here. So Se7en, they managed to just stabilize completely. They could technically have gone for like a sniper or a banner or something like that. But that's not quite the case. But actually, Captain's going to go and actually get Elikor down. And now they take the exchange.
Nice milk out of Ombrak though, and they've got a much better Uber. The chase is on from Opti. They're going to try and clean up in Cafe. Not able to connect anything. Raymond just juking the damage. Now the return from the lashes. They're trying to clean up players. Them all goes down. Ombrak down. 3, 4, 5.
Perfect.
Woo, Se7en.
What an exchange.
Post Uber fight. That looked like it was going to be top5rocket's play, like game.
Yeah, like they got Elikor, and then everything else was snowballed off of that, and then they just won the DM fights all over the place. Elikor is going to try his best to hold off the entire enemy team, but yeah, not going to happen. Cadus has one spawn stickied off. That's going to be another round. That was quite the push right there for Se7en, just absolutely showing their dominance and just their team cohesion as well. Like it kind of started out with this kind of unorthodox play from Captain, where he just kind of all in on the demo man, and he actually managed to get him. Like that's not normally a play you see, right? Like that's not a normal sack play, but he just kind of played close to the medic with a lot of heals and got here. And oh my god, look how fast Korback is. He's actually on a single scout. I think he's looking for the demo, but doesn't quite find him.
Yeah, and Selentes manages to slink onto Ombrak and forces top5rocket to be completely separated. Korback, Elikor getting cleaned up, and with Neo down as well, it just means that the top5rocket are going to back up. Se7en are starting really to get into their stride. They brought it to 2-1, and top5rocket need to stabilize, need to get into a position where they can't let Se7en just roll through, get really confident like they are now. They know they've got that player advantage. Elikor and Korback have only just come up, So they're going to be able to get second, and it's going to be a Uber v Uber last. And Se7en are good at their repushes, so this could be terrifying for top 5 Rocket.
You definitely don't want to push out into them with even Ubers, that for sure. Should be interesting. It's actually a bit of a different setup here, right here, but oh my god, no! Albrecht, he craters. No! The rocket hit him while he was up on the ceiling, and then he just got bonked. Like, I don't think he was expecting to take that fall damage, and Se7en is again going for the big play.
Se7en is just putting in work, and Se7en can just go in. Opti with a nice little denial. Are they going to be able to hold this? Cadus with some gorgeous pipes onto Demol. It's now just Neo and Elekor trying their best. Nah. Oh.
They threw
it in. Yeah, they threw it.
Unbelievably, Neo just goes in there. Se7en, I think they just got a little bit careless. They didn't focus down targets quick enough, and the heavy came out, and he was just chewing them up, and they somehow get it. Or they failed to get it. They managed to throw it. Starkey's actually on sniper right now, so if anyone peeks their head out there, they are in danger of losing it. It looks like no one is really trying to go for the repush right now. There are not enough players up, and they decide to just take it slow. Albrecht has like a 10% advantage. That's not really pushable in any degree, and it looks like it will just be kind of the same sort of setup that we saw with Se7en. Se7en, they tend to favor these very aggressive sentries, and then they'll have a pyro defending it, so just like it's super sturdy. Whereas top 5 Rocket seems like they're a little bit more fluid in it. Nope, they're gonna do the same thing. Just put the sentry up. It's a little bit further back, but there's also a pyro and there's a dispenser going up. So this is exactly the same thing. Starkey's on sniper. Let's see if Se7en can actually break this.
Yeah, trying to, like, really it's all about how much space they create. Dispenser is down, so this is a good opportunity to get that push in. I need to stop that joke. I really need to stop that. But Starkey, not able to get an angle on the right-hand side. They're denying him pretty well. Callback on the rotate straight away. But Starkey, with his cozy camper, it means that he's not getting any knockback, and he gets callback with a nice little headshot, and now just peeking his way in. Oh, sees Albrecht for a second, but Opti denies that. A little bit of sentry work as well. Means the top 5 Rocket can hold on to last. Not losing Albrecht, but dispenser down again.
Oh, dispenser down, push.
Yeah, like push.
Let's go, boys.
No, that's bad joke now, Beta. I overuse that.
Yeah, but it's funny when I say it, right? I think that's how jokes work.
Yeah, I guess.
Alright, Quarterback, he's going to try and see if he can get out here, do some damage. And, like, usually Se7en are the team to do a lot of damage, but currently, like, it's top 5 Rocket putting on quite a bit of pressure from both sides. Going to be a pyro from the front and the demo from one side, and then double sorted from the other one. But currently, Starkey is just making his way in there. Actually hits another nice shot. Actually does get Quarterback. He dies to fall damage, so now the door is open for Se7en on the left side.
Yeah, and they've managed to just inch their way in piece by piece. Starkey just almost connects onto Albrecht, but doesn't manage to do it. No one's used their Ubers yet. Opti has gone down. Captain's a little bit further in. Se7en's going down as well. That's soldier for soldiers. And with Kovac still alive, actually, they can maybe create some opportunity to get onto Raymond. Raymond hasn't backed out. They're still holding in lobby. They're only just going into lower now. And I don't see that much pressure out of top 5 Rocket Beater.
No, we don't see those fast, like, counter-sacks that we've seen from Se7en so far, right? Like, we saw a couple times where he just gets in on the medic super quickly after any kind of event has happened. And it looks like Kate is just doing a bunch of spam. I think that pyro just reflected every single pipe being in there. I want to say pipes have a faster firing time than the reflex do. But yeah, that pyro just reflected every single pipe that Kato shot at the sentry gun. So good job by him. I'm pretty sure that's physically impossible. But what do I know? Actually, Soda in very aggressive. Captain somehow managed to almost get in on Albrecht. But
Raven! Call back on Raven! Absolute nutcase! That was perfect! Manages to get Raven and creates
Cadus,
a whole opportunity. Cadus, no, he ain't leaving. And Elikor's going to clean him up.
For last, sneaking onto the medic. Can he get it?
Oh.
Not quite. Gets caught back,
he manages to get caught back, yeah.
Yeah, Soda jumps in as well. And currently right now, top 5 Rocket, they're not getting time onto second. I think they kind of realize it.
Elikor!
Alright.
Combat!
But
No, Albrecht! Oh, he gets forced. Captain just manages to slink his way past Demol and Elikor and onto Ombrak, and Ombrak actually finally uses, you know, just doesn't drop
actually,
it.
he actually hit a pipe onto the medic there as well, just to show that he could. But unfortunately, it takes 2 pipes to kill a medic, but yeah. Great job by Se7en. They're very persistent in getting that Uber Force out. It took a lot of tries to get in there, but they also did a really good job of actually just denying the point for a really long time. If you do that for long enough, like at some point you just have to retreat because your spawns are so bad and everyone else just comes out and you're in a bad position. But Raymond, he's on 90% and Se7en, they're already pushing and they get Elikor immediately. Wow.
Yeah, and Demol's trapped in, but he manages to get Cadus. I think he's now going for Raymond.
What?
Decides to go, what? Oh, he nearly got out then. Just like jumped over so many heads. But I've got to say, Bia, that was so well played by Se7en just to stabilize and get advantage back into their core. They're going to be able to get second, but Ubers are equal. So if they do try and use it, it's going to be a bad decision. They have this locked Captain. He's traded for the sentry gun though. But is it going to be worth it? As Korvac, again, going in lower, maybe looking to surprise someone. They've managed to retake lobby, but they haven't got their whole team. They're going to have to back out. And Se7en, again, on second to last. And top5rocket really need to, you know, get advantage once again.
Yeah, the sentry gun is trying to be built here, but really great job there by Cadus. There's no pyro to take care of the sentry gun protection right here. And you can kind of see how that could be really crucial when you're trying to set it up. And here comes the sword jump onto the medic. Ombrak's so weak, he's holding onto it. He's on 16 HP. Like a pistol will take him down, but he makes it into spawn. That was really close. Skin of his teeth. Like an ant's nipple away from dying there.
A what?
An ant's nipple. It's very small.
Yeah, I've just never heard that saying before. The more you know. As Elikor's pushing in on the left-hand side, kind of alone, but huge amount of pressure out of him. He's getting denied. He's getting pushed around left, right. He gets dropped by Ombrak. The exchange has happened. Opti's getting in behind. They're trying to get onto the point, but Se7en just barreling onto that combo, but they've got Neo and Opti behind. Neo does get cleaned up, though, as there's only 2 players left versus 3 on Se7en. Cadus pushing in with Talash. They managed to just delete them all. Raymond comes in for just funsies, and that's going to make it 3-1 to Se7en with 8 minutes left.
Se7en, they're so good at holding on to the second and then going for those repushes. And just, like, the aggression when they do it, they're so convincing, and they're just so, like, it's just violently fast, the way they push in right there. They don't even go for the team, they just go for the point and force everyone else to go in there and move to their will. So, yeah, really great job there by Se7en. They're up 3-1. Let's see if Se7en decides to go behind this time around or if he does something else.
Hopefully, he's just going to go for a big bomb, take control of tower, which he tries to do, but Cadus gets cleaned up by Opti. Korvac actually the trade for top5rocket. Se7en's got control of bell tower though, and with another player down, 2 for 1. Right now, that's another one going down. And Se7en winning that mid fight just based on attrition, but Opti is behind. They are looking for him, expecting him to come out. Captain gets Elikor whilst that's happening. He does trade, but Ombrak is so low. No!
Again, just Se7en, he's so good at just finding these. And meanwhile, Opti has not been able to do anything from behind lines. He's fighting a single scout who's on the high ground, so good luck with that, Opti. Opti is just completely stuck. And he's basically useless. Se7en, of course, they have to be aware of him, make sure that he doesn't find his way onto Raymond. But, you know, Raymond, he's going to be hugging his 2 scout buddies, especially for last. So, it's going to be very difficult to get onto him no matter what. You can just see Stargy, he's just standing on second point, just looking behind him. But there's going to be a push coming in here.
Oh my god, Cadus is in. He cleans up the sentry gun. It's only a level 1, but he's not able to do what he usually likes to do, which is strafe round onto that left-hand side. Demol not being contested, able to just apply so much suppressing fire onto Se7en. They've really got to play their heels as they start to lose players. Demol's super low, but manages to stay alive, gets arrowed by Ombrak, and they just can't deal with the Putis.
The heavy continues to stomp them. I really feel like Se7en, they probably need to just identify the heavy, barrel down on the heavy. Just screw this class in particular. Just get him down. Make sure that he is dead before everyone else, because otherwise they just slowly get whittled down. And Ombrak, has a 30% advantage, and I think they want to push on this, and I like this. Let's go for it, man. Like, time is running out. You need to go in there.
Go back.
Yeah, sneaky trap there. So he takes a bit of a detour, but looks like they will be able to capture the second point.
But most importantly, they haven't used the back cap attempt. They have denied it.
Alpha Laskins in there.
Oh.
There was a soldier in there. He didn't quite get there, but the last he finished off whoever was injured, and he manages to cap it out. So just again, Se7en, an absolute menace when it comes to pushing into them on second. I do think it was the right decision to push into them because it's only 5 minutes remaining and you're down by 2. So yeah, definitely go for that push. That was a good decision by top5rocket, but Se7en, they're just too strong, too good at getting players behind them. They just punish top5rocket and it's 4-1.
And right now, top5rocket haven't been able to really start off this mid, like any mids as they want to. Se7en's just too much pressure. Now, poor Ombrak is all on his own, surrounded by 7 players. Is going to get cleaned up, but the same is happening on the other side of the map. And now they're going to have to re-push into mid with Starkey and Captain coming back in. Starkey managing to get Opti. Now going to try and go on to Neo. Neo does go very low. Is going to have to try and get that pack. He is currently in a 2v1 situation. Oh no, he's just against the entire team. And Se7en cleans him up. And that's going to be a really weird mid-fight.
Yeah, that was super weird. Ombrak literally didn't heal anyone for the entirety of the mid. He was just isolated in choke. A soldier jumped him, he went into choke. And then nobody was around him, so he just stayed out in choke and didn't heal anyone for the entire mid fight. And they almost won the mid anyway. So it was just very strange. Just the entire team went in except for the medic. And having some heals there would have definitely won it for top5rocket. But now it's going to be Se7en trying to push on. Well, not push exactly, but getting a bunch of damage going in. Se7en's in the skybox.
Oh.
Captain gets just demolished by a pipe, and Demol gets Se7en as well. See you later. And now it's a 2-man advantage, but the slight advantage actually for Se7en.
Elikor tries to bomb it. Oh, Ombrak with trying to do a monster serve. Gets cleaned up, and top5rocket collapsing. So much chaos happening in Flowers right now. Demol trying to do the mid fight, not able to do it, and Korbak, you're not going to be able to do it, Chief. You just got to back out. And they're going to have to try and get at least some frags or some sort of roadblock to stop Se7en just barreling in onto last. They've got a 30% ad, and they feel pretty confident. You can see that they're just going to be waiting to clean out that ad, make sure they've got that advantage, and they're going to just push in very quickly.
Yeah, but, it's a good example of how maybe error less, maybe build more. At the very least, Ombrak, he didn't quite build Uber fast enough. It should have been even Uber, but just like a 10% advantage actually ended up mattering here as this push comes in.
And the push just comes in very quickly. They've got their own Pootis. It's going to be a battle of the Poots. It's a heavy v heavy, like just suppressing from either side of the last point. But Demol is starting to go down really low. He is going to get cleaned up. Se7en have learned the only way to deal with a heavy on last is to bring your own heavy.
He just killed everything, I think. He got onto the heavy. He got the most important part down, and Se7en also never died. So, yeah, you know, that's the counter to heavy. The only class that counters him is more heavy. There's another heavy, right? So that if that's not proof that he's overpowered, I don't know what it is. I think we should ban him immediately, and it can't happen fast enough.
What about a heavy update?
Would that include? Would that involve them doing work? I don't.
As War and I would say, artifact, card game. But instead of card games right now, top5rocket counting cards and getting down Raymond. Getting down 4 players, keeping Ombrak alive. Good little mid-fight. Ombrak even cleaning up Starkey. Captain, the only survivor. Gonna get cleaned up, and that's a wipe.
He should have taken those 2 HP and jumped the medic. That's what he should have done.
Yeah, 100%.
That's lack of experience right there. But they get the mid-fight. Ombrak even gets some kills as well. Like, you know, you can tell they're kind of in a hurry. They want these rounds. It's they can't win or anything. You know, the match as such is over, but you know, they gotta prove their haters wrong. Haters such as me, who said they couldn't even win a single round. You know, if they can get 2 rounds, I'd call that a success.
Yeah, that's mad respect, and I feel like Elikor gonna be checking those traps. They're gonna be going on this left-hand side. They need to make sure that they just barrel in. They've got a lot of space already without having to use the sentry gun. Has been null and void as Thalash brings out his Pudis, but they're not dealing with it. They're just trying to deal with everything else. Elikon now trying to deal with that Pudis to just staying in spawn. 50 seconds left. They need to play their heals. They need to start getting some cleans up. A little bit of pressure on point here and there. Korvac and Opti managed to jump across, but Raymond has his Uber, and they're going to start cleaning up. Top 5 Rocket players with 30 seconds left. That's going to be it. 5-1. Well, we knew that already, but I don't see them getting around unless Neo can sneak something in. I think he's just going to kill Captain for the hell of it.
Oh, no.
No, he's not.
Rip his logs. Absolutely disgusting. Case just turns around and just does a 180 insta pipe. That's pretty disgusting. And we even see Demo sniping. He got to do it finally. Hit him, Demo. Hit him. Do him good. Let's see, where is he even? Oh, he hasn't got him yet. Oh, didn't get him. Alright, bad luck, Demo. But that's going to be 5-1 in favor of Se7en. Not winning on Mercy. They don't win by 5 win limit. So, I mean, I would consider that a success by top 5 Rocket. Definitely showing that they are a team to be feared. And I see them winning a bunch of rounds and maps against other teams in this round. Like, this league so far has been super even, except for Se7en. So, definitely top 5 Rocket, I could see, like, they are just as likely to do well as everyone else is, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is going to be just a battle for second, third, and fourth in playoffs, and I'm super excited who's actually gonna be there, because you've got Electro. Like a lot of people are saying it's going to be like a Sen, Feint, and then either Electro. Here we got Electro, top 5 Rocket, and I'm forgetting the third team that people are thinking. What is it? Sorry, what was that? Production? Oh yeah, show the tables on stream. That will help my brain. War and Sons. That's it. That's like kind of where people are thinking it's going to be. But as you can see, just from the Premiership table, it is super close. Like, apart from Feint and Se7en, there's only 3 points separating the bottom team from third place, which is currently Goon Squad. So, and I think that's just due to, alphabetical status. So, joint third is War and Sons and Goon Squad. Or Electro bringing it up on 5th with 5 points. Carnex, top 5 Rocket, and Ascent all on 3. We did not expect Ascent to be at that bottom slot. Again,
it's probably not going to last very long, to be fair. Right? Like, it's because they played against Se7en in week 2. So they got 0 points from that. So, yeah, don't read into it too much. But I think the thing that's worth taking out is that everyone's got points. Nobody has, except for Se7en, has won every single match. Like, they've all lost. So, I mean, that makes things pretty interesting already, if you ask me. But, yeah, sure. Do you want to maybe get some people in here and talk to them?
I think, shall we have a quick gander at the logs first and then bring them in? Or do you just want to just throw the logs out the window?
I'm all for throwing things out the window.
Mate, I'm all for throwing things out the window. I think we should just get some peeps in. And I think we've only got Ombrak. So welcome, Ombrak. How are you doing?
Hi. I don't know. I lost.
You did lose, but against the top dogs at the moment, and you didn't mercy rule on the on Sunshine.
I feel so much better now.
And you took the first round.
Yeah.
That's all in all. That's
are you not
that's
taking,
not a bad thing.
Yeah. Are you not taking anything positive away from this match? Like
no.
No.
No. I don't know. Like, we knew we would lose, but I feel like the spirit wasn't there. We didn't really try. And I don't know, like, I'm not really happy with how we play. Like, I understand sometimes you go into games knowing it's gonna be really hard, and you're probably not gonna win it, but there's a difference between doing that and going in, okay, we're losing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I don't know, maybe I have a wrong read and this is not what the rest of my team thought, but I would have hoped that we could do better.
Seemed to me like you had a bunch of pretty good decision making, like your pushes, like you pushed when it made sense. You were pretty good at like reading the situations correctly, and knowing when to take fights. I'm sure that I'd say that's a positive thing, and also your mid fights, at least some of them were really nice, I thought. So, like, definitely a good performance overall, I'd say. You see, I'm helping you.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm a competitor. I don't want to. I hate losing, no matter who else, who it is against. And I felt like we didn't really show much to not, like, against them. We played Ascent in the warm up, and we won on product, which was really unexpected, and we played it really well. And I felt like we didn't really apply the things we learned on the warm up. And I don't know. In Sunshine, we were in it, and there are like some mistakes, like we're not holding doors. Like, for example, the 2 times I drop, it should never happen. People are gonna say, yeah, okay, I could have used, but just Silentus went in completely unchallenged and was able to shoot 3 rockets or 2 rockets at me. And this is the kind of thing that can't happen. It's probably my role as a main caller to make sure that we hold the doors, but at the same time, I shouldn't have to say that those kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's like it's gonna be not interesting, but to find the balance between where I was wrong and where the team should be able to do a bit better on their own. But I don't know. I feel like, and what sucks about losing is when you're main calling, you take most of the blame. So this is not ideal for me.
Well, hopefully you can get to redeem yourself next week, because that's going to be the big French derby. It's going to be the fight for France. It's going to be you guys against Generation Carnax, and it's going to be on Logjam and Process, so 2 new maps from this week. So how are you seeing that going?
Well, hopefully this is where our season starts. We had a rough start with playing both Feint and Se7en in the for 3 weeks, so we didn't expect that much, and now we need to do better, otherwise we can say bye to whatever expectations we had. And I felt like playing the other French team is a good launch pad to aim higher, but we'll see about the maps, because yeah, you mentioned Logjam especially. I don't really know what to do with this one. And we are super early compared to the others, so it's going to be complicated to practice as much as we want. But yeah, there's room for improvement. Sure, there's 4 more weeks. There's plenty of points to gather, and hopefully we can start the collect next week.
Are you guys hoping to make it into playoffs? What is your goal for the season?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's technically possible still, so this is what we're going to aim for. And when we can't make it anymore, if it happens, then we'll say we'd never aim for playoffs. But yeah, no, I don't know. There's still room to make it into playoffs. I feel like from our scrims, we see we can compete with the teams are seated above us. So yeah, I feel like if we just forget about this game and focus on what's ahead, we can pull up good things, I believe.
All right, and then the most important question: who's the best player in France? Like, we're gonna find out next week, but right now, who's the best player in France?
Oh, it's so much ego are at stakes now. I don't know what to say, so I'm gonna go with a safe bet, not self. And I mean, I think I have to say Carnax, because he has a team name after himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite telling.
All right, that's very interesting. But Grumpy, unless you have more questions, I think we should move on to some shoutouts.
Nah, I think you've covered everything. Like, one thing I will say is, Ombrak, it is very interesting that I think it is good that you have that mentality of no matter who you face, you want to give your all, rather than just throw away maps. I think that's like really respect. That's mad respect to you, man. Like 100%.
Thanks, but it's one thing to have the mentality, and it's another to put it into things. Like to make it real, because in the end, it's all words.
Yeah, but it is hard. But it's like, if that's what you're trying to do, that's admirable, dude. I think that's. If I was in your position, I don't think I would have the same mentality. But let's be real, I'd never be in your position. I'm shocking at this game. But you know what I mean.
Apparently, me too.
But no, yeah, let's move to shoutouts, Peter.
Sure thing. So Ombrag, who do you want to shout out? Other than the best player in France, Carnax.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to our Discord which messed up during the games, so we had to pause and switch to Mumble, and then there was the Uber glitch, and I don't know if I used in time, if I was allowed, but I guess we lost anyway, so it doesn't matter. Shout out to people covering, so Peter and you Grumpy and Phong, and to chat, because this is why there's the show.
Yeah, GrumpyKoi, do you have any shoutouts?
Shout-outs to both teams. It was a great show. It was actually incredibly entertaining to watch. Shout-out to both Phong and then Wheathoof for picking the reins because Phong had some technical issues. So thanks for him being ready to help. And shout-outs to you, Beta. It feels like it's been absolutely forever to cast with you, and it's always good fun to get back into a game with you, man.
Yep, likewise, always a pleasure. So that's going to be it from us. Definitely make sure that you try to catch up on the rest of the season, and also currently there's the Highlander Nations Cup going on. I think it's Highlander Nation Cup number 6 or something, but basically Denmark finished second last year, so this year Denmark's going to be number 1. It's inevitable, definitely going to happen. So tune in to the finals when we're going to win that. That's going to be great. There's still some group play to be played. I think we're coming into like week 3 of that. So check that out on Critscast and maybe even teamfortress.tv. I'm not quite sure if where all these casts get casted, but definitely check that out. And then shout out to Phong and Valve for making a game that's flawless and never crashes on anyone ever. Good job there. But that's going to be it for us tonight. You guys take care. Have a good night, and good night.